charrette in short definition is that it is a planning tool to solve a particular problem that have been identified in the community.
And what was the problem in this community?
School desegregation. And the elementary school burned. And they had to make a decision as to whether to allow those children to go to a white elementary school that was nearest, or how you're going to solve this problem. But this was a specific problem that was happening, forcing, the people on CP side, forcing integration, and on Ann's side, it's the thing to do because these kids need to be educated. The book came first, then the documentary, then the play, and now the movie. Well, Sam really studied. He never met CP, but he studied the culture and studied. He is. If he gained 50 pounds, he could be CP. This story is what happened between two people, rather than the community coming out and embracing that. That wasn't the issue at all. It was clear that these two people should be the co-chair of the steering committee. And I wanted to have lunch with them. I didn't have much problem with Ann, but CP, and the movie picks it almost perfectly. He just walked around, finally took a seat at a table next to us that nobody was there, and talked to us back and forth until he got angry. It might not have been angry, it just might have been, I'm just tired of this, and left. He said, can I bring my Klan stuff and put it up? And he did. My condition for him to put it up was, you have to have somebody standing there to watch it, because somebody's gonna tear it up. You know that. And some boys did try, and Ann caught them right in the middle of the act. And then the movie came. Say what she said to them. But she gave them a tongue lashing and made them put everything back. And when I looked out the corner of my eye, CP and Ann occupied an office together. She didn't know this, but he was looking at her. I don't think they ever talked about it. But I think that was a real moving point in their attitudes about each other. When CP tore up his car, I was maybe 5 feet from him. He was at the podium, and I'm sitting here. And I'll never forget the words he said. He said, if schools are going to be better, if I tear up this car, I am willing to tear it up. And he started. That was a very touching moment. It was unexpected. It was, from my standpoint, he traveled a lot in 10 days. And I just could not believe that he was doing that. And I've said many times, if I take my family out of it, is one of the most touching moments in my life. That he did that, and he was kind of trembling, and like I said, I'm sitting. I could reach over and grab him almost, and that was a real sincere move, and the crowd was quiet. And it stayed quiet because his folks were shocked and mad. And the other folks wanted to applaud, but who can applaud a Klansman? You see? So it stayed quiet. And so when I got myself together, we closed the charrette. We had been successful. That school desegregation has been awarded. These two people are telling you that school desegregation is a must. I had no expectations when I left Durham that would be historical. I had no idea. Remember that it happened 48 years ago. The documentary didn't occur till early 2000, maybe 2001, 2002. And I don't think I talked much about it to anybody. I mean, it wasn't a community, something you go talk about. At church today, I had people, when we did the private showing, my golf buddies, I asked them to come to my family and my tight guys I play golf with 2 or 3 times a week. And they all said, "You never told us this." What? I mean, how come you didn't tell us? And it wasn't nothing to tell, in the sense that it was something that happened. It was good for all of us involved. It didn't jumpstart my career, but it helped it. And then it got lost. It actually got lost until these folks, the documentary woke it up for a little while. The play woke it up for a little while. And then the movie is having the greatest impact of all the things that have happened. The documentary is a set of facts. The movie, I think, gives you the opportunity to think about yourself. I think that's different. See, the documentary to me is a historical piece. And you say, yeah, that's 1971, that's nice history, and we ought to know that. I think the film is going to push people who look at it and take it seriously to maybe look at themselves, look at this society, and understand that you're part of all of this, your one self. So if you can do something about your biases, and you can do something that might help move this whole culture along to all of us can get along, then I think the movie has a more direct relationship to the individual.
And what do you hope, in practical terms, people walk away from the movie thinking or wanting to change?
If I had one wish, it would be that look in the mirror that I just mentioned and truly examine what are my thoughts that are harmful to other people. We call them biases, but they really how you see other people in the midst of evaluating your activities, where you go, who you see, and what you do. That if we could give respect to others that we wish for ourselves, and I think the movie might allow you to have some of that. Nobody in the movie is telling you that's what you ought to do, but I think the movie will push you to do some of that.
And do you think people don't spend enough time being aware of that?
Well, I think we all of us got some kind of biases. I'm talking about against other people. I mean something. I don't know what it is. If it's harmful, you need to do something about it. If it's harmful, if your thoughts are harmful to other people, you really need to do something about that. And the movie, I think, will kind of nudge you to do that, where the documentary is just history and we glad they got along and that was fine. With the divisiveness we got today, I think we have to be able to look at the movie or the documentary and say we can do better.